Hello, it is me, the Holistic Healer, here again with you today to talk about apple cider vinegar. As most people know, apple cider vinegar is an amazing component to healing our bodies. Um, it is used to help heartburn and acid reflux. Um, It promotes healthy cholesterol. You can use it for weight loss, blood sugar. It's antioxidant. The properties really are endless for this, internally and externally on the skin. Just 2 tablespoons a day internally can completely balance your body. And it helps your body to absorb beneficial nutrients that we take in. So if you're taking it daily just to get that added nutrition of the foods you eat, perfect. That's exactly what you should do because it's really going to make a difference for you, and you'll feel that after a couple of weeks of doing it. Um, Here's the thing: when it comes to apple cider vinegar, not all of them are the same. Do not just reach for any apple cider vinegar on the shelf. Um, you either need to get one that's raw and organic or make it yourself. By getting the ones that are raw and organic or making it yourself, then that is not processed. The ones that are processed and you just buy in the store, they have a little bit of property to them, but not much. Okay, so during the processing of it, it obviously lowers the vibration of it and takes out the enzymes and essential nutrients that are created when it's being fermented. Okay, so if you want to drink it daily, you could add 2 tablespoons to a glass of water. Um, you could add a little honey in there for flavor, or you could add it to your tea. For those that don't want to drink it, you could add it to your salad or cook with it. As long as you're not getting those temperatures too high, you're still going to get the same effect. Now, in terms of using it topically on your skin, I add apple cider vinegar to my anti-aging facial care kit that I make. I also add it to my anti-acne facial care kit that I make because it is an amazing addition, okay? It balances and clears the skin. It balances our skin tone too, actually. Um, they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? So all the nutrients in those apples go into the apple cider vinegar when it's raw and organic or homemade. So imagine all those nutrients going on your face and going on your skin and what it probably might do, right? So I lost my train of thought for a second, sorry. So if you are putting it on your face, those with sensitive skin might have a little bit of trouble doing that. So what you do is you're going to mix it a 1-to-4 ratio with water. And then you can maybe spray it on your face or, dab it on your face daily when you do your facial care routine. And then every day, or I'm sorry, every once a week, you'll add a quarter more of apple cider vinegar until you get to the place where it's comfortable on your skin. We don't want you being burned by it. Definitely not. So today I'm going to show you how to make your own. And it's not scary. It's not as bad as everybody thinks. So a couple of things when making your own apple cider vinegar. One thing is you're going to find as you're making it, there's going to be like this murky brown appearance to it and kind of like strands of stuff in it. That's good. You want that, guys. That contains the bacteria and the good yeast that you need. So don't let that scare you. That actually is full of probiotics and that kind of thing too. Potassium, magnesium, and essential enzymes that we need in our bodies. It's amazing how good you feel when you add apple cider vinegar to your daily life. There's also acetic acid in it, which has the ability to kill dangerous bad bacteria, whether it's inside the body or on the skin. It's almost like a natural antibiotic, you guys. And I just cannot tell you enough how this will enhance your life, okay? So when it comes to making your own, this is what's really cool. I have apples that I'm going to use today, but you don't need that. What you can also do is keep your scraps in your cores. So Thanksgiving is coming up, and a lot of people are going to make apple pies, right? Because that's the fear when I teach most people how to make apple cider vinegar is, well, apples are expensive, and geez, it's hard for me to put that many apples, you know, I need to feed those to my family, and that's okay. You can do that. You can still get the same result by using just the cores and the peelings. So maybe that would be a great time for you to start a batch of apple cider vinegar would be during the holiday season. So whether you're using the cores and peels or you're using the full apple, I have some apples here that I got from the orchard a few months back. They're kind of getting to the point where my kids see them in the fridge and really they don't look great to them anymore because, you know, they are a couple months old. They don't have the chemicals on them to make them last because we don't have that kind of produce in our home. So they get a little ugly looking. But that's when they are perfect for making apple cider vinegar. So this is a great way to not waste foods too, not waste apples that you normally would throw away because your kids will not touch them. Okay, so basically what we're going to do here is, let me move some things around. I'm just going to make a small batch today because I have other batches going. This, actually, let me show you this. This is a batch that has been festering for about a week now. So you can see I have my liquid and I have my apples in here. This will get strained in about 2 weeks, but we'll go into that a little bit further. But I wanted you to see kind of what it looks like after about a week. Okay, so you're going to want to grab a pen and a piece of paper and take some notes. So I will give you just a second to do that before we go any further. And while you're getting yourself a paper and a pen so that you can take notes, I'm going to just grab something quick. So hold on, please. Okay, wanted to make sure that I had enough water. So when making apple cider vinegar, it's important that you use filtered water or some sort of sterile water as to not pull bad bacteria into our apple cider vinegar. City water is loaded with chlorine and God knows what else. So you really don't want that in your apple cider vinegar because although most of you do not drink it anyways, you definitely don't want it to be the base of your apple cider vinegar, okay? So any kind of a jar works amazing. Make sure your jar is very sterile though. So if you have a jar that's already been used, please boil it and sterilize it before you start this process, okay? This has to be a sterile process. Okay, so I need to grab a knife, sorry. So what you want to do is cut your apples up. If you're using the cores, throw them in there. If you're using peels, throw them in there. Otherwise, I kind of cut them into pieces about that big, cut it in half. Put them into pieces like that. Cut them in half. The smaller they are, the more we can fit in here. And when you're doing this, you want to count how many apples you're fitting into your jar. And the reason for that is because when you are done filling your jar with apples, try to fill this real quick, you want to use a teaspoon of raw sugar per apple. That's going to be your mixture. A teaspoon of raw sugar per apple. Okay? So write that down. And, you know, there's no way to tell for sure how many apples are going to fill your jar. So you just keep a good count. I'm at 2 right now. You want to really push them down. You want to get as many in there as you possibly can. And then, when your jar is full, try to do this. You're going to use warm filtered water if you can get it warm. Even if it's room temperature, it'll help a little bit. But that's to help dissolve the sugar a little bit better. I mean, sugar will dissolve in water, but I like to use it a little bit warm if possible. Okay, so it looks like I can fit 3 apples into this one. And if you have a bigger jar, I suggest using a way bigger jar. This is going to make a very small batch, okay? But this is more just to show you. Okay, so when it comes to the sugar that you use, it's very, very, very important that you use raw cane sugar, okay? Just because we're keeping this organic, we're keeping this healthy, guys, okay? Processed sugar is processed sugar is processed sugar, and I don't have to go into any of that with you about how bad that is for you, okay? Cane sugar, although it is not your best friend, it is also not your worst nightmare, okay? It is not going to put nasty chemicals in your body, okay? We want to keep our apple cider vinegar healthy, right? That's why we're making it. So I have 3 apples in there, so I am going to, and I usually start out with about 2 cups of water. You may not need all of that. I'm not even sure that it will all fit in here. So I'm going to take my teaspoon and I'm going to put 3 teaspoons of my raw organic sugar into the water. And then you want to, kind of stir it up, let it dissolve a little bit. And voila! I am going to pour this on top of my apples. And see how we didn't use quite all of it? That's okay, because as this goes, I will be adding the rest of that in there. I just have to get it pushed down. So my suggestion, this is the first time I've ever used this little jar, so I wasn't quite sure how much I would need. My suggestion, if you're using a little jar here, is to start with a cup of water. So that way you make sure all of your sugar gets in there, because that's really important stuff. I may end up having to put this in a bigger jar, I guess. But either way, you want to, kind of like you do with canning, you want to get all of the air out of your jar. Slide your knife down, push all the air bubbles up. If you ever get to where you pour your water in with your sugar, you get all your sugar in there, but you need more water, that's fine. Top it off. You want it to be all the way full, and you want the water to be up over the apples as to not create mold, okay? If the apples are sticking up above the water, I can promise you it will create mold and ruin your batch. You do not want that, okay? So we're going to push everything down and make sure that it is very, very, very well pushed down. Okay, once we have everything pushed down really well, it's very important. This stuff is very important. We're going to use paper towel to put on top because if we cover this with a regular lid, the apples won't be able to breathe, neither will your brew. And it's going to either bust your glass and break, or you won't be able to get it open. I know because I've done it. So very, very important that you cover it with paper towel, okay? And then you're going to rubber band that, like I have this one rubber banded. Once you have that rubber banded, you are going to place it in a dark, cool place for about 2 weeks. You don't need to mess with it. You don't need to do anything, just for about 2 weeks. Set it aside. Set yourself a Google reminder or write yourself a note on the calendar so you don't forget about it. But during those 2 weeks, you don't really need to do anything. Just put it out of sight, out of mind. Give yourself a reminder so you know to check on it in 2 weeks. When you check on it, if it has, like I said, the brown, murky, stringy stuff on the top, you're ready to strain. And that's called the mother. And that's where all the nutrients are, okay? So we don't want to dump that out and get rid of it. You want to keep that. So once you're ready, and I want you guys to be taking notes here so you know for later, you're going to strain all the apples out and all the pieces of apples. You're going to have a few little pieces left in there, and that's okay. So strain it to the best of your ability. And then what you're going to have is this beautiful liquid. I don't know how good you can see this, but look at how beautiful that is. That is an amazing apple cider vinegar. And if you look, see on the bottom of my jar, there is, that's what I'm talking about, the little particles that still are in there. That's good. Those are full of proteins and enzymes and probiotics. Like, this is a beautiful batch. And I am so happy that I started doing this myself, you guys. So this jar actually came from a much bigger jar. So you don't really get as much as you think you will. So you want to make a big batch, you guys. You really do, because you have to think about the water is going to evaporate in a little bit. So you're going to lose a little bit of it during the process. So anyways, once you've strained it, you're going to put your paper towel lid back on it, throw it back in the closet, okay? At that point, you want to check on it every 4 or 5 days, give it a little stir, put the lid back on. You're going to do that for about 4 or 5 weeks. Use your intuition to know when it's ready. You'll be able to smell it. You'll be able to tell. You really will. You'll be able to tell when it's ready. When it's ready, you can do like one more final strain just to make sure that we don't have any bacteria in there that we're not trying to keep. And then you can put it into whatever container you're going to keep it in. I keep mine in the refrigerator, you guys. I don't know that that matters, but I guess in my mind, I believe that I'm keeping any kind of bad bacteria from growing in it. This doesn't have preservatives in it. It doesn't have added things to it. So it is completely natural, right? So since it's completely natural, we need to act as though it is. So keep it in the fridge, because I've had really good luck with keeping it in the fridge. Then it just doesn't go bad. I've never had a batch go bad on me. So this is making homemade apple cider vinegar. You fill your jar with apples and your filtered water and your sugar. You place it in the closet or somewhere dark and cool for 2 weeks. You strain it. Throw her back in there for another 4 or 5 weeks, stirring once every 4 or 5 days. When you're done, you're going to pull it out, put it in whatever container it's going to stay in. I suggest glass rather than plastic for actually storing it, because sometimes plastic not only pulls the properties out of medicines and things, it's porous. So it also can put its ick into your brew, okay? So glass jars for storing. Always, always, always. And you know, this is in a plastic jar, and as a master herbalist, I know better. You really shouldn't use plastic, but it's not, it's okay during the brewing time. I have played with it, and it is truly okay. You just really need to make sure you're putting it in glass for storage, okay? If you have any questions, please email me, holistichealing@gmail.com. Becky Joe the Healer on Facebook. On Twitter, I am Meditative Mama, MUMMA. My website is holistichealing.net, which is WHOLEISTIC healing, all one word, .net. So please, please try this yourself. You will be amazed. If you have questions or any concerns about what to do with apple cider vinegar, or anything going on with your batches, please reach out. I am more than happy to help. I am more than happy to heal. And I am sending you so much love, so many blessings, and so much gratitude for watching my video. Have a great day, and so much love to you all.